Although I have written a book, a 400 pages book on Rahu, titled How to Overcome Rahu, still I am starting a new series through this video podcast, a series in which we will explore the nature of Rahu in all 27 nakshatras. Because nakshatra signifies the nature, while the zodiac sign signify the quality. But before we get into this prolonged, extensive series, in this first video, I would like to share and help you all understand the true essence of Rahu. Rahu is your desire. Rahu is your ambition. Rahu is your ignorance. A wise man always keeps himself away from ambition, an ambitious person as well. Ambition starts in such a way that you never become aware what poison it contains. The bottle of ambition contains pure poison, but the label says it is pure nectar. Ambition and ambitious men or women have made this beautiful planet a hell. All the dictators that history has witnessed have been too ambitious, and in their mad pursuit, they have literally crushed humanity in a very cruel, insensitive way. That is the way of Rahu. My fellows, be aware of Rahu men and Rahu women. But incidentally, the majority of men and women who come to me for consultations are Rahuish by nature. And that is natural. Only a patient will come to seek medicine. Only a troubled man, a lost man, will come to seek help. Alexander the Great was also a Rahuish man, an epitome of ambition. He comes to Diogenes, the divine master, and says, I want to be like you. In my next birth, if God asks me what you want to be, I will say, Diogenes. I want to be like Diogenes. Now just meditate on Alexander's words. He says that he would like to be Diogenes. Diogenes was a naked man. He moved naked around the town, and yet people came from faraway lands just to meet him, just to see him, just to listen to his golden words. Diogenes was an enlightened being. Looking at Alexander the Great, Diogenes says, it seems that you are stupid. Why you want to wait for next birth? You can be Diogenes this birth itself. Come, join me and relax. Real saints are lions and not cats. Alexander was taken aback. Nobody had dared to talk to him in this way. Nobody had called him stupid. But looking at the master, Diogenes, he realized that this man is something, that this man is special. There was certain glow to his presence. And so Alexander said, I cannot come to you this birth because I have to yet conquer the whole world. Only when I conquer the whole world, I will come to you. And this is exactly what you all have been doing your whole life. This is what a Rahuish man does. a Rahuish woman does. This is what they say: I still have to conquer many things, only then will I come to you. And you never come back. Rahuish nature will never let you return back to the source. Diogenes says to Alexander, nobody comes back. You will also not return. Alexander never returns. He dies in a foreign country. Neither he was able to conquer the whole world, and nor was he able to experience the peace, the bliss, the eternal joy within. And this is the state of all Alexanders of this human world. And I meet almost every day one Alexander, because we have Alexanders in majority and Diogenes in minority. The last words of Alexander the Great were, all is vanity. And then he died. He died a poor man, empty, exhausted, utterly disillusioned, utterly disappointed. This is the story of Alexanders of this world. This is the story of all Rahuish men and Rahuish women of this human world. The Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, another Rahuish man, while on his deathbed, writes to his son. He writes, my years have gone by profitless. God has been in my heart, yet my darkened eyes have not recognized His light. There is no hope for me in future. I know not who I am, where I shall go, or what will happen to this sinner full of sins. Understand the fact that these words are written by a man who was ruling the whole Indian subcontinent. The whole Indian subcontinent was under his rule, or rather most of it. And yet, at the last moment of his death, while on his deathbed, he is a totally lost man. He has no hope. He writes, there is no hope for me in future. I know not who I am, where I shall go, or what will happen to this sinner full of sins. This is the state of all Rahuish men and women. Driving a BMW car or living in a palace is not the answer. Else all billionaires and millionaires would have become Buddha. Money can make you look perfect, but money cannot bring peace. Money cannot bring happiness. Money cannot bring joy. And with every drop of my blood, I can say this, I can write this again and again and again, because that is the truth, the ultimate truth. But to come to this self-realization, first you have to go through the circle of births and rebirths until you self-realize that being rich, famous is not the answer. One of the known Hollywood star, Jim Carrey, quotes, I hope everybody could get rich and famous and will have everything they ever dreamed of, so they will know that it's not the answer. Money, sex, power, the soul should go through all of this. Because unless you go through the cycle of pleasures, you will not really understand the true essence and higher purpose of human life. Rahu therefore becomes a necessary chocolate, because unless you have had enough of sex or sexual pleasures, Unless you had enough of money and power, you will not be able to come to the self realization that sex, money, power is not the answer that can bring eternal happiness, joy to your being. But again, there is a catch. Out of a million souls, only few, after going and experiencing all of it, come to the self realization that this, that is sex, money, power, is not the answer. These few are the blessed ones. They may have been the greatest bhogi, meaning pleasure seeking Rahuish men and women, but they are the ones who actually transform to the greatest yogi, meditative beings. And history has been witness to many such real life examples. Ratnakar, the thief, the murderer, the looter, becomes Saint Valmiki. Saul, the richest man in Jerusalem and who hated the Christians, who caused much trouble to Jesus, later realized the greatness of Jesus, the divinity of Jesus. And it is said that this Saul later transformed and became one of the greatest saint, and Saul became Saint Paul. Always remember, a sinner can always transform into a great saint. In fact, a sinner has more possibility to become a great saint because whatsoever he does with totality, with devotion, with intense passion. And that is exactly what is needed, says Saint Kabir. Kabir says, I don't want heads, I want only hearts. It is easier to transform a sinner into a saint. It is much convenient to transform a madman into an enlightened being. And that is exactly what Avatar Meher Baba did. He transformed many madmen into enlightened being. When someone asked Meher Baba, why you spent your time on insane people when sane people are also available and they want your time? Meher Baba said, the madman is already out of his mind, but through the wrong door, that is, in unconscious state. We just have to tell him it is good to be out of your mind, but through the right door, that is, through the state of consciousness. So beautiful and so deep. And Meher Baba did a miraculous job. He transformed many madmen and women into enlightened beings. It is a strange world. Here really great things are never rewarded. Nobody has bothered about Meher Baba. Mother Teresa will get a Nobel Prize because she looks after poor orphan children. And nobody thought of giving a Nobel Prize to Meher Baba, who really did a miraculous job, and he was the only man after centuries. Indeed, being out of the mind is a great state, but it has to evolve through conscious way and not unconscious way. The question whether Rahu is necessary or not necessary just cannot arise because our birth happens because of our desires. And so Rahu is at the root of our existence. Always remember, desires cannot be dropped until you wake up. Millions of people have lived in the monasteries, monks and nuns and all kind of ascetics, torturing themselves in the hope, in the desire that this is the way to destroy desires. When the desires are destroyed, they are going to attain to heavenly pleasures. And those pleasures are real pleasures. They are not momentary. like the pleasures on this earth. How can you drop desire? By creating a new desire, a far more dangerous desire. Religious people are more in the grip of desire than the non-religious people. The non-religious are satisfied with small things, a good house, a beautiful wife, children, a little bank balance, small things. But religious people go on condemning these people as sinners, and they themselves are saints because they want a bank balance in the other world and a bank balance which will be inexhaustible. It is very difficult to drop desire unless you wake up. You cannot drop desire. Desire is a natural phenomenon when you are asleep. Desire is dreaming and nothing else. When you wake up, dreams disappear, and when you wake up, desires disappear. Rahu is the desire that has been driving you many births and rebirths, and you have been going through this many cycle of desires in unconscious state. You are still sleeping, and so the desire remains. Rahu remains. So you see, my fellows, the real fight should be with the sleep, that is the unconscious state of your being, and not with desires. Because the moment you wake up, that is the moment you come to the state of consciousness, the desires will naturally fade away, leading you to a beautiful path, the path of eternal love, joy, peace. And that is indeed the beginning of a wonderful journey, the spiritual journey. Always remember, to be conscious of being, you need to reclaim consciousness from the mind. This is one of the most essential tasks on your spiritual journey. It is said that the moment you recognize the real problem, the solution can be found within a few minutes. That is why the wise always spends more time in identifying the real problem. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists and the man whom I admire the most, says, "If I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and just 5 minutes thinking about solutions." Friends and all my followers and fellow travelers, this series of Rahu in all nakshatras is simply to find the nature of your desire. Of course, it cannot be mentioned in details, but just the essence of the matter is enough for a real seeker to get going. As this series begins, we will self-explore certain trains of desires that Rahu brings when it falls in a specific nakshatra. Rahu in the 27 nakshatras, and now the journey of insights and sharing begins. Sharing is caring. You stay tuned because the next video will be on Rahu's presence in the nakshatra of Shatabhisha, Adra and Swati. Love to you all, especially to all my followers and readers on Quora. Stay blessed and always remember to meditate every day. 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. And always be aware that it is not necessary that when you love somebody, the person has to love you back. That is where we all go wrong. When you love, you simply love. Then don't expect anything in return, because that is the real essence of true love.